Thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate it. On March 8th, 2024, 3-year-old Kyron Santino Zarco Smith was watching TV with his 9-year-old brother when a shooting took place outside of his home. A bullet tore through the walls and the couch where he was sitting. When officers arrived on the scene, they found Kyron with a gunshot wound to the chest. His 9-year-old brother was also shot and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. But tragically, Kyron didn't make it. His life was taken that day. Not long after the shooting occurred, we joined with the Athens Clarke County Police Department, the GBI, and FBI Atlanta to ensure those responsible were held accountable. And today we're pleased to announce the latest update in this case. On Tuesday, our gang prosecution unit secured the indictment of Julian Kubilos, Jaden Brown, Dakius Eccles, and Desmontrez Mathis. The defendants are charged with malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, violation of the Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and criminal damage to property in the first degree. An Athens grand jury indicted the defendants as members of a local gang known as Everybody Eats, or EBE. They're alleged to have traveled to Hallmark Mobile Home Park to target a rival gang in order to maintain and increase their status within EBE. With this most recent case, we have now worked with the Athens Clarke County Police Department to indict a total of 21 individuals since the creation of our gang prosecution unit in July of 2022. The majority of these cases involve an ongoing conflict between Everybody Eats and another local gang known as the Red Tape Gang, or RTG. Included in this total are 5 shootings that have taken place in Athens between April 2022 and March of 2024, 4 of which have resulted in fatalities. 2 19-year-olds were killed. A 24-year-old was killed. And most recently, a 3-year-old was killed. It's a pattern of violence that is unacceptable, and the people of Athens Clarke County deserve better. We have parents who worry about their kids walking to and from the bus stop each day. And we have children who worry about their parents and their grandparents who simply want to sit out on their front porch steps at night. I've said it before, what concerns me most is who are most often terrorized by gangs: lower income, racially diverse, and immigrant populations. The Georgia Constitution says it's the paramount duty of government to protect person and property, and this means all Georgians, no matter where they live, deserve to be safe. This is a fundamental human need. It's not partisan or political, it is simply human. Since forming our gang prosecution unit nearly 2 years ago, we've secured justice for families who've lost a child, a sibling, a parent, or a partner due to gang violence. And that's exactly what we intend to do here: secure justice for those who knew and loved Kyron. And I want to thank Chief Jerry Salters, Deputy Chief Will Brinkley, and the men and women of the Athens Clarke County Police Department for their strong partnership and their dedicated efforts throughout the entirety of this investigation. I want to thank the head of our prosecution division, Deputy Attorney General John Fowler, the head of our gang prosecution unit, Senior Assistant Attorney General Kara Convery, and the members of our team who are here with us today. They're the ones that are doing the hard work each and every day and truly making a difference in communities throughout Georgia. I am proud to be on their team, to support them, and I'm grateful for their efforts. And I also want to thank all of our law enforcement partners whose support and assistance was critical to achieving this outcome. Director Chris Hosey and the GBI's Gang Task Force, Assistant Special Agent in Charge Sean Burke of FBI Atlanta, and the Middle Georgia Safe Streets Gang Task Force, and Sheriff Janice Mangum, Deputy William Parker, and the entire Jackson County Sheriff's Office. I can't tell you enough how proud we are to work with our men and women in law enforcement. I promise you this, we will continue to have your backs every step of the way, and we will continue to use the full force of the law to combat violent crime and keep all Georgians safe. And with that, I will call on Athens Clarke County Police Chief Jerry Salters to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Our hearts still grieve for the family of Kyron Zarco, a 3-year-old that had his whole life in front of him that was tragically killed by gun and gang violence in Athens Clarke County. I can't thank the men and women of the Athens Clarke County Police Department enough for their quick response. Our officers that tried life-saving measures, CPR, to try to save Kyron, and their commitment to finding those responsible for this tragic shooting. I also want to thank the Attorney General's Office, the GBI, and all of our law enforcement partners as we continue to partner on major cases to bring justice to these families. Next will be Director Chris Hovey with GBI.
Good morning. As Attorney General Carr mentioned earlier, on March 8th of this year, violence struck again in one of our communities and interrupted innocence in that of the tragic death of Kyron Zarco Smith, and also the injuries that were mentioned to his 9-year-old brother. This act of senseless violence is unfortunately another example of the actions of criminal street gangs and how their actions affect our Georgia communities and our citizens. My sincere thoughts and prayers are lifted up for Kyron's family, friends, and the citizens of Athens Clarke County. Within 24 hours of this incident, law enforcement from Athens Clarke County Police Department, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and the FBI Safe Street Task Force had identified and followed investigative leads that led to the quick arrest of one of those responsible, and with the assistance of our federal partners, U.S. Attorney's Office and Marshal's Office, all of those involved would be in custody within a matter of days. Criminal street gangs work to control, intimidate, and devastate our communities around Georgia, and as you have seen, harm innocent victims. What you have seen and heard here today is the collaborative team effort of law enforcement and prosecutors as we stand shoulder to shoulder to pursue criminal street gangs, hold them accountable, and eliminate their malicious actions. We will not be swayed, we will not be discouraged or intimidated from what we are doing, because what we are doing is right to protect Georgians. I want to thank the Athens Clarke County Police Department, the GBI's Region 11 Athens office, the GBI's Middle Georgia Gang Task Force, FBI and FBI Safe Streets Task Force, U.S. Attorney's Office in the Middle District of Georgia, as well as the U.S. Marshals. These dedicated men and women work tirelessly in collecting crucial information and evidence to identify, locate, and take into custody those involved in this incident. Georgians can be proud of them. Additionally, I want to thank Attorney General Chris Carr and his staff with the Gang Prosecution Unit for their devotion and aggressive pursuit of justice for the affected families, communities, and citizens of Georgia. The GBI, along with our law enforcement partners, will continually to be dedicated to holding gang members accountable for their crimes while working to eliminate this threat to Georgia and its citizens. I will now call on FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Sean Burke.
Thank you, Director. We at the FBI are very proud to work with our law enforcement partners to solve cases like this. First and foremost, our heartfelt condolence goes out to Kyron Zarco's family. Baby Dro, as he was known, was simply sitting and watching TV when he was shot in the chest. Kyron's family says his last words were, "I have a hole in my heart." So too does this community after a tragedy like this. The FBI assisted in this case through our Athens area, Middle Georgia Safe Streets Gang Task Force, one of 160 units we have across the country. To the Zarco family, we hope these indictments will bring some sort of relief and justice to your family. We in the FBI and everyone involved in the Safe Streets Task Forces will continue to dismantle criminal organizations and put those responsible in prison. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Again, appreciate everybody coming. When I talk with folks around the country, they say there's something special going on in Georgia as it relates to federal, state, and local law enforcement working together, and this is a great example of that happening. All four corners of our state, doesn't matter where you live, we're working together to make sure that we hold folks accountable and keep the people of our state safe. And with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions y'all may have. So 4 were indicted on Tuesday. Yep. There are not.
And good morning. All 4 defendants were charged with malice murder and the related criminal street gang counts as well. Our position will be that all 4 were meaningfully involved in the actions that led to the death of the child. All 4 defendants remain in custody now in Athens. Yes, sir. Eats. EBE or Everybody Eats, yes.
All right. Thank y'all so much for coming. We appreciate it. Thank y'all.